Hate YouTube ads?
Feeling lost in the job?
One second. We'll get started in just a second here. What the heck? Hello, camera? There we go. Camera's on now, finally. Now we got just one thing here, and then we'll get started. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. Luckily, I was able to stream today, so I'm glad that I'm able to go ahead and give you guys a stream here. Quick little notice, it won't be that long of a stream. You know, I've been kind of doing, like, you know, until midnight usually, but it's not going to be that long tonight. I'll still be here at least an hour, so you at least got an hour post-game stream here before I head off for the night. But we got an L to talk about. I honestly might be a curse. I might just be cursing. I might just be cursed with whatever I predict, because I said the Bulls are going to win this one, and they lost this one. So that to me was it's you know, I kind of said it. I was just in the last pregame or postgame show. I'm like, you know, I think the Bulls are going to win this one, which means that they're going to absolutely go out and lose to the Brooklyn Nets somehow, just because that's how this works. So far for the season, I'm 1-5 in my predictions for each game, which is not great. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to fix one more thing on my camera here, and then I'll get into everything. All right, you guys let me know. So I'm talking right now, I'm looking at you guys in the camera. Let me know how the camera and the audio look. If it's all synced up and everything. I think it should be good. I kind of played around with something, so hopefully it should be working fine tonight. So yeah, we got an L to talk about. I think the Bulls' terrible defense finally came back to haunt them, and their slow starts have been kind of just like, oh, it's nothing, we can come back. And the Bulls came back in this one after being down by 17, but then it eventually did come up, kind of catch them in the butt at the end, where you see that they just couldn't overcome the slow start fully, where like they got the lead, but it was still like kind of like, man, you're playing uphill the entire game. And then we see the guys just kind of looked a little bit tired out at the end. So some good in this game. I mean, Vooch had one hell of a game. Vooch's start to the season has been fantastic. He's shooting the lights out of the 3-ball. And I think tonight is a much better showing of how I want Vooch to play moving forward, and how he should be playing moving forward. So just look at a very quick look at his shot chart. I tweeted this out in the middle of the game, but you can see it's shots at the rim and threes. The one mid-range shot was a late, like a late in the clock shot from, it was a pass from Giddey, so he had to take that shot and he drained it. So this is really good from Vooch. This is how he raises his efficiency. This is how he becomes more valuable overall. So we saw everything pretty much, and he only had one post up all night, and we see how effective it is when he is being an offensive rebounder, being a good pick and roll player. Shooting the 3-ball obviously helps, but when you make your shots at the rim, you're a pretty good and effective player. And when you don't take mid-range shots, it helps you be more efficient overall. And you don't take, post fadeaways. That will also help you. So pretty good stuff from Vooch overall tonight. The Bulls at one point, so the Bulls at halftime, this is the craziest stat. So the Bulls shot 52% in the first half, and they were down. The Brooklyn Nets were shooting 60% in the first half. They just could not miss. It was a horrific start to the game for the Bulls defensively. You can even just see it in the numbers here. Like, this is insanely bad. I mean, we're looking at 68 points given up in the first half. That is horrendous by the Bulls. So they did not do a good job in terms of their defense to start the game, and it just unfortunately was too much to overcome in this one, which is kind of why I've been kind of saying like it's eventually going to hurt them, and it finally did tonight. So yeah, interesting. Bulls offense, I think, was honestly in pretty decent gear throughout the entire night until maybe that fourth quarter kind of came around where some misses started to happen. Bulls were shooting 52% in the first half. They shot 55% from 3-point range in the first half, and shooting 38% overall from 3-point range is still pretty good for the game. So I'm not too concerned about that. The field goal percentage could be a little bit better. 16 turnovers is obviously too much. So there's always this little caveat that we always look at is like too many turnovers usually leads to bad results for the Bulls. So there's that. But yeah, overall, this is kind of a suckish game to lose, because I think that this is a game that the Bulls should just be winning. Even as a person that says I want the Bulls to try to keep the pick, this is a game that they should win, and they didn't win this one. So I think this kind of is at least like a decent showing of why I'm not like, oh my god, they're a playoff team yet, as some people have jumped on board with that, where after the first 5 games, like, oh my god, playoff team, and I'm like, no, let's not jump there yet. Maybe they're a little bit better than I thought, but they're not playoff team just yet. Like, you need to win this game if you're a playoff team. And they didn't do that. So, unless the Brooklyn Nets are actually just gonna be better than we all thought. So that'll be funny if they actually do come out and do that. So yeah, this man right here, this man, to think that this man was benched at one point in the NBA. That man, Cam Thomas, was benched. He wasn't getting playing time. It's crazy just to think about. But yeah, that man was benched at one point. So he hit that, I don't even, what was it, a 38-footer or whatever. It was kind of the dagger tonight, and I'm like, yep, okay, cool. What was it? Oh, a 33-footer. Oh, that's actually, I feel like it should have been a lot farther than that, but cool. All right. Might be a loss, but I'll say the first half lineups were exactly the minutes I would see as Ernesto Alonso is back. My only thing about the first half that I was a little upset about, overall with the rotations, it's just that I don't understand why Buzelis isn't getting minutes. I really don't. With Lonzo out, I thought Buzelis would be getting those minutes, and even when Lonzo was playing, Buzelis was at least getting like 3 or 4 minutes a night in the first half. So the fact that Billy has officially just taken him out of the rotation is just wild to me. I don't understand why Billy just is like, yeah, we're gonna just take him out of the rotation when Lonzo's not here anymore. It doesn't make much sense. So that's my only kind of hiccup about it. I would just play Buzelis over Taylor Horton-Tucker personally. As much as Taylor Horton-Tucker has impressed me with how well he's played in preseason and then his limited minutes to start the year, I just would much rather watch Buzelis go out and try to play and figure it out on the fly. So I'm a little bit upset about it still. I think it makes no sense that Buzelis is just suddenly, he was in the rotation when Lonzo was playing, and now he's out of the rotation when Lonzo isn't playing anymore. That doesn't make any sense to me. So that's my only gripe about it. If you don't want to play him in the second half, fine. I'm fine with it, but he needs to get those first half minutes just to get minutes, because right now he's just on the bench doing nothing. And like, watching does help you, but yeah, he needs to go out and actually play, man. That's like my only gripe about it. At the end of the day, Cam is worst defense for any starter in the league, though, even with his big jump this season. Oh, I mean, I think Cam Thomas, yeah, like you can just watch him defensively, it's not great, but I don't. If the dude's gonna go out and score 29 a game, which he is right now, then I'm like, yeah, hey, I don't care if you're playing bad defense, we'll cover you up on defensive end. Nets games always feel like pickup games. The crowd doesn't react to the game despite having fans there. Barclays Center is a weird center, I will say, for sure. The fact that it's owned like partially, or is it fully owned by Jay-Z? I'm not entirely sure, but it's like partially owned by Jay-Z. And it's the dark backgrounds. It seems like one of those arenas where people go out to the arena just to like be like it's like a fashion show, right? Like, hey, I'm here, right? And like no one really fully pays attention to the game. Not trying to hate on Nets fans. I know that there's many diehard Nets fans. But yeah, Barclays Center is like a weird atmosphere. I will say that for sure. Suspect they steal that one if Lonzo played 15 of IO and Pat's minutes. Yeah, probably. If Lonzo was available, it probably would have been better. Maybe they don't win it, but they would have probably had a better result overall. But I mean, still though, this is just that not. as much as I want to say, oh my God, Lonzo would come in and like seriously help, I don't want to like, say like, oh, we can just trust that, that's just not something we can just fall back on if we're seriously trying to evaluate this team. Like I've always said, Lonzo in my head is just like, he's out, he's not available. If he can play, awesome, amazing, we'll put you in the rotation. But if he can't play, then we plan for it, right? So I don't want to say like, yeah, if Lonzo was there, then we would have won this one. I think it's a better result, but at the end of the day, you should be prepared without Lonzo, if that makes sense. So yeah. I do think Booz will get 3 to 6 minutes over HT, but I call it similarly effective, even if Booz growth wise is good there. I mean, my thing is though, is like I guess I'm more so worried that he is about to go into the G League. That's like my big worry, is that Buzelis is about to be sent to the G League. That's not going to sit well with me. Buzelis was in the G League last year. I don't need to see him in the G League. Like, if he came out of college and you just don't trust him right now with how the NBA tempo is, like, that's fine. Like, I would understand that more. But we saw Buzelis in the G League last year. I don't need to see him in the G League again. I know what he can do against G League competition. I don't need to see more Buzelis in the G League. So if this year is truly about development, which is what Billy has said, and apparently what AK has also said, which I mean, AK kind of, goes in between the lines and everything. But if this is truly about development, then I need to see Buzelis out there. Like, as much as I want to say that Horton Tucker is going to become like this great story in Chicago, I would much rather just be playing Buzelis at the moment. That's just my personal opinion. That's nothing against Horton Tucker, but I just need to see Buzelis out there personally. And I'm just shocked. Like, I thought, because again, he was getting like 2 to 3 minutes with Lonzo playing. When Lonzo went out, I'm like, okay, Buzelis should get these minutes. And then we didn't even see Buzelis last game against Orlando, and Smith wasn't even available in that game. So it's just like, I don't know what Billy's going with, or did we? Hey, actually, let me just double check that. I just didn't lie on stream, but like, it just seems so shocking to me. Okay, Buzelis got 4 minutes actually against Orlando, but still, it's just now suddenly he's just out. Like, yeah, I don't understand that, but yeah, I won't grip about it too hard in the stream. People 2 Dave tonight, 15-52 for the season, but Montes can't play because he can't shoot. Yeah, honestly, man, like, yeah. If we're trying to base off, like, if Billy's truly gonna be like, well, you gotta earn your minutes, man. I don't know, bro. Like, P Will has not exactly earned his like 36 minutes a night, I guess. He's playing less. Like, he's not closing games now. So I guess P Will is kind of getting like the hook, but it's still though, like, he's playing significant minutes at least. Patrick Willis has never done anything in his 5 seasons to earn a starting spot or amount of minutes he gets. He hasn't earned anything. He didn't start at Florida State, yet somehow he's been a day 1 starter for the Bulls. I actually think he was a day 1 starter for the Bulls due to just need, right? The Bulls didn't have a small forward. They came into that season like, who the hell is our small forward? Assuming that Kobe was the point guard and Zach was the 2. You still have Markin and Wendell, but we just didn't have a small forward. And so now he just was implemented as a starter immediately. I won't lie, I think that Billy and the front office have some sort of like, hey, we pay this guy, we got to give him his minutes, right? So, that relationship continues to be a thing. But yeah, man, if we're gonna be saying like, yeah, Buzelis has to earn his minutes, but yet P-Will is gonna give games like this, which again, I would say against the Bucks and Magic, I think P-Will played good. But the other games, I don't know if you can really say that necessarily. So this is kind of where it's like, I want to see Buzelis out there. I'm not saying for many minutes. I just want to see like 6 minutes, give him at least some time. P-Will is mostly marked by Cam Thomas too. Do you mean mostly like scored on tonight, or like P-Will is like guarding him most of the night, but and Cam still got the best of him? Then yeah. I mean, there were moments where P-Will didn't exactly do great against honestly, it wasn't just even Cam Thomas tonight. Like, I think people against Ben Simmons didn't really understand the assignment tonight either. There was a moment where Patrick, he jumped out onto Ben Simmons as if he was a 3-point shooter, and Ben just drove right past him. It's like, what? Why are we doing that? You know? So, overall frustrating night. I think it like, this is a game you need to win, but the 120-point number still exists. Like, this is the reason why I'm like, I don't trust this team to be a playoff team. So if you're on that, then I don't know what you're gonna say about this. This is unacceptable against the Nets team that struggles personally. I mean, Cam Thomas guarded people a bit, and that's a fail offensively. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so Patrick Williams was guarded by Cam Thomas for most of the night. All right, I guess not most of the night. Like, there were just some moments where he was guarding P. Will, and Patrick took advantage of it early in the second half, but that was it. Nothing really else to really talk about when it comes to Pat. 0 for 4 from 3, so, you know, the whole talk about him being a great 3-point shooter is kind of like, yikes. So that's even me saying it, by the way. Like, that's not me calling anybody out. That's me saying, like, well, you're a great 3-point shooter. I want you to shoot it, and he's not knocking him down. So, yeah, not great overall. Not great overall tonight, unfortunately, for the Wolves. So that's that. Couple other things I want to talk about. So, Kobe and Zach like really kept the Bulls in the game in the first half, and then they just both cooled off. Like, Kobe, I don't know if Kobe even made a shot in the second half. Oh no, he made that 1-3. And so, but that means both Kobe and Zach both only made one shot in the second half, and that just shows you like the Nets like were like, okay, we got to stop these guys, and you know, they effectively did it. But I also don't think like these guys like, you know, were like, oh, we're gonna still try to get our shots up. Like, they were still passing the ball effectively and doing their thing, and they both ended with 21 and like not amazing nights, I guess, but still like pretty decent nights. Vooch obviously had himself going in that second half, mostly in the third quarter. He was absolutely just destroying the Nets, and so, you know, props to him. But like, some of these shooting numbers, man, like Io 2 for 7, 3 for 11 overall from the field's not good. Giddey's night was overall not great. This was not exactly amazing by Giddey. Also, the free throws are something we got to talk about with Giddey very quickly, because if we're gonna be like, oh my god, he's such a great shooter, like he's like getting rid of all of those issues, then I don't know what this is right now. So it works both ways. If you're gonna tell me that Josh Giddey has, you know, proven to everybody he's a great shooter, then what is this from the free throw line? He can't do this from the free throw line. He's shooting 56% right now from the free throw line. That is unacceptable. Don't know what that's going on with him. So yeah, not great. Phillips also missed some shots that he needs to really knock down. So some of the guards, man, I don't know what it is. Io's shooting percentages this season have been pretty rough. I'm a little bit shocked at how badly he is shooting the ball, mostly from inside the arc. I'm a little bit shocked. He hit 2 threes tonight, but there are moments with Io that I'm like, I see him take a shot and I'm like, oh, that's gonna go in, like, because I've seen him make that shot over and over again, and like it just doesn't go down, especially in the paint right now. So I don't know, this is something that we're gonna have to like watch with Io, if this is gonna continue with him, as like teams are just maybe more aware of him for some reason. But yeah, this is not great from Io to start the year. And just not a great game from Giddey overall. This wasn't really good. Bulls still scored 112, so like it's not like it was a horrific night on offense. It was a pretty decent night on offense. But he obviously didn't hit 25 threes. Hence why he didn't get up to the like the 120 mark at the end. What a good game. We raised the stock on Zach and Vooch in position for this tank. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, if anything, it's like, if you're like upset that we lost this game, which again, like for me this year, I'm just kind of like, you know, if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. That's just kind of how I'm going through this year. But if you're like, man, we should have won this game, which I think the Bulls should have won this game. But if you're one of those people that think we should have won this game, then it's like, hey, look, Vucevic looks like a great center in the league right now. Zach has overall shown that his shooting is fantastic, and we lost the game. So on our way to hopefully keeping the pick at the end. But Yeah, not the worst thing in the world, but the bad part is that Patrick didn't play well. Giddy didn't play too great. Io didn't play that great either. And yeah, Julian Phillips didn't really play great. So if you're worried about the young guys, then it's like, yeah, that's not great. When should we start to worry about Io shooting? Just like everybody, I'm giving 25 games to everybody. So I've said it about Giddy, I've said it about Patrick. I'm giving 25 games to everybody. So if it's, if Io is still shooting his horrific percentage from 3-point range after 25 games, then yeah, we're gonna be talking about it for sure. But I mean, dear Lord. So this is not including tonight's game, but he came into tonight's game shooting 14% from 3-point range. So that's not great, and that cannot continue from Io. That he has to get better very quickly. So yeah, we'll see what his percentage is once this updates. But yeah, 25 games. I just always give the 25 game mark for everybody before we start to panic. And by the way, that also goes for the other way around. So if you're saying that Josh Giddey has shown that he's a great shooter and we don't have to worry about that anymore, which I don't think that was proven tonight, but if you're one of those people that are still like, hey, look, Josh is shooting a great percentage from 3-point range, I still say give it 25 games, because let's wait and see what he actually is going to be shooting by the 25th game. So same thing with Vooch. Vooch is shooting incredible percentage from 3 to start the season. So let's just kind of wait and see before we start making assumptions about someone's shooting season. I think they switched the D on Kobe second half. I think Kobe, there was a moment with Kobe where I kind of noticed with them that they were straight up like, we're not giving you the ball. Like they were just like, you were gonna deny from Kobe. Now I will say though, the other players on the court at the time was Patrick, Io, Terry, and Smith. So it's kind of like makes sense. Like if there's one person to just deny the ball from in that lineup, it would be Kobe White. But yeah, I'm not shocked that teams are kind of doing that. But still, though, I think it's then on Donovan to make sure that he gets enough shots still in the end and find ways to get him open. He hit that 1-3 off the offensive rebound to start the fourth, and he had 3 free throws, I think, because he got fouled. But yeah, they definitely were more aware of him because he shot pretty well in that first half. So, but still, it's on Donovan and his teammates to make sure that he gets his shots. Still. His shootings fall for sure tonight. The rest was all good, but his shots did not fall, especially those free throws. The Beham is I don't know what that is. Is that the Wahami is too much for Giddey? I think that's what you meant, Charles, or is that what you typed? But yeah, so here's the good, I guess, with Giddey. I think there were moments where we saw Giddey truly being like the playmaker / like bending the defense and opening up guys, but I think the Nets adjust in the second half. I think the Nets were aware of what they were doing in the first half wrong, which was that they were pretty much bringing 2 to Giddey, which just if I've always said it, if I was personally guarding Giddey, if I was the coach, I'm like, I would dare him to make the shot rather than bring 2 and then have him open up his teammate, right? So that I think was kind of like the shift in the second half, which is when they're like, okay, if you're running pick and roll with Vooch, then I'm just gonna let you kind of go try to score. And unfortunately with Giddey, he didn't get score enough. The 3-point shot didn't fall tonight. He missed some shots at the rim again. So it's just kind of like, I don't know what we're gonna get from Giddey every night. I mean, yeah, we saw the 4 threes against the Magic, but this was quite the opposite. Your pass first point guard that people tell me about shot 17 times tonight. Yeah, he also had 8 assists, but in the 17 shots that he took, he shot 29% from the field. Also 1 for 4 from the free throw line, which is not great. So, again, you gotta be a good scorer and a good player. If you're gonna be like the hub or the engine of the offense, you also gotta be a good scorer. You can't just be a good passer. So, like I've said everything throughout the preseason into the season, it's like you can't just be a good passer to run the offense. You gotta also score. So the shot just wasn't there tonight, and that can't continue. Like, he's got to make his, if his 3-point shot's not going down just like everyone else's, it's like you got to make the inside shots, and that's the big, like, yikes. It's not happening. Once again, the team repeatedly ran Pino against Giddey / Vooch. Yeah, especially late game. We saw late game where the Nets were basically hunting Giddey to get Cam Thomas to have Giddey guarding him. And they just put Vooch and Giddey in the pick and roll, which is just smart. It's a smart thing to do overall. And Thomas did a good job of making them pay. So, yeah, good job. Pat and Giddey were the main culprits today. No matter how good they might look in some nice these types of games, you're not really going to do any damage without having an actual go-to. Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially with the way that the offense is run, right? Like, there is, like, no, hey, like, if there is a go-to guy, it is Zach. But, I mean, even Zach says just he's not shooting as many times throughout the game this season. So, it's a spread-out offense. It's a distribute type offense. I mean, even in, like, this game, so the Bulls had 24 assists this game, which is a pretty good number. And if they knock down a few more shots, then that number is much higher, right? So the ball movement's there. I'm not concerned about the ball movement whatsoever. I think everyone's getting their shots. It's just, you know, when the guys that you trust to make shots don't make the shots, you're gonna fall flat, unfortunately, on the offensive end. How's harassment on traps and getting the heavy double to avoid him getting the setup? Well, so there was one trap that happened kind of late in the fourth quarter. That was just a smart trap by Brooklyn because they recognized that he was kind of backing himself into the corner or like kind of near the sideline area, and they just trapped him. Like, no matter how good of a passer you are, you're not going to find the open man from that spot. So Giddey had to throw it off, I think, Schroeder. So that was just smart. I think early on, for whatever reason, they were trapping Giddey, and I don't understand that because he was finding guys for open shots. But then the second half, they were basically just like, go score, and he didn't make him pay enough. So props to the defense and Fernandez for figuring all that stuff out. Oh, I didn't know that, Charles. I mean, it really didn't affect many others tonight. Like, so I guess it only affects Giddey, apparently, because everyone else made their free throws tonight. I guess you could say Dale Terry made 1 of 2 only. So, yeah, I don't know. Pat was honestly stinking it up today. Yeah, Pat did not play great. Ugh, bro. Pat got an open early 3-point shot, and I just was so upset at how long it took him to shoot it, and it just kind of was setting the tone for the night. So, yeah, it's honestly, I'm worried with Pat that it's either going to be we get these types of games moving forward where it's like single-digit points, single-digit rebounds, didn't make a 3, was not effective, you know, at least like 2 to 3 turnovers, maybe more, or we get him scoring like 10 to 12 points where he hit some threes, but it's like everything else across the stat board is very similar, right? Because let's say he goes 2 for 4 from 3-point range tonight, then he you know, he easily is into double digits. But if he doesn't hit those threes, then it's just like, man, what a not a great game tonight. So I think in the second quarter specifically, the Bulls kind of were in the second quarter, they were turning down some shots that they needed to take. I think Pat unfortunately also was falling into that, but we saw some possessions for Pat where it was kind of late shot clock and he was throwing the ball with like 6 seconds left to go and he had an ISO. And so I'll show you one of the shots here and the game charts here, but it's like, I don't need to see Patrick Williams ISO balling at any point in the game. That's not something I need to watch. So this shot right here, for example, was late shot clock. He had to put up the shot. He tried to get a fadeaway mid-range shot. Very badly missed. That's not his fault, right? It's not his fault that like, hey, late shot clock, I gotta get the shot up. It's not his fault that he took a bad shot, but it's just showing you that like he's not a guy you can trust in late in the shot clock. I don't want him ISO balling at any point because I don't trust him to be able to beat his man off the dribble and find a way to create space consistently and make the shot. So his dribble, unfortunately, is just way too inconsistent for a guy that, again, we were told that he was a point guard. So in high school and should have point guard skills. So if that's really the case, then you shouldn't be dribbling off your foot all the time. But you also, I feel like you just gotta find ways to just be more effective, man. One steal tonight. Yeah, not enough. Like you gotta go out and just find different ways to actually score within the offense. And if you're honestly only getting 8 shots, then lock in, please, because you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna get my shots, don't worry. Like, you gotta lock in, bro. You gotta hit some of these threes at some point. And he get to go home and practice finger roll. He gets to that spot so often in the bowl and looks confident, but he doesn't make it. Yeah, Giddy has shown me that he can get to the basket consistently, but it's all about, like, can you finish at the basket consistently now? Like, that's the only issue, right? It's just too inconsistent. Because I know that when we talk about 3-point percentage, if we say 40%, that's great. But if we're talking about layups, man, like, we can't be like, oh, he's 50-50 on layups. Like, that's not good. I can't have you shooting 50% on layups, bro. And right now, I think he's shooting even worse than that to start the year. So, when Zach crossed when Zach crossed Schroeder over in that fourth, and, like, he threw it off to Giddey, who was cutting, and then Giddey missed that floater, it's just like, I don't know what to do with you, bro. Like, you got to make that shot. He got the rebound and got fouled, but he missed the free throw. So, I'm going to hopefully just say it's bad shooting night, but unfortunately, we've seen too many times with Giddey that he just doesn't make shots at the rim consistently. So, and the 3-point shot wasn't going down tonight, which is what was going down against the Magic. So, it doesn't even things out. So, yeah, it's either he's going to knock this down every night, or he's going to have to figure out ways to just score consistently at the rim. So yeah, overall, it's not great. Minus 90 million. Yeah, not gonna lie, it's not looking great. I won't lie, man. It's really not looking great. Like to base the space, but some teams have good transition offense players and good fitness need some better half court alternative. Are you talking about the Bulls specifically, or are you just talking about the NBA in general, Charles? Was able to watch the fourth quarter. How did we lose? I mean, it was a pretty close game heading into the third, and Cam Thomas in the last 5 minutes just caught fire. He hit a 33-footer, and that was kind of the dagger. The Bulls just really couldn't score in the last last 3 minutes. They just struggled to score. So that's kind of how they lost the game in the end. So this one right here by Cam Thomas was the absolute dagger. He just launched it, contested by the way, and it just he just drained it. That was just a killer. So yeah, props to Cam Thomas. He was the one that really closed the game out tonight for the Nets. Which I don't know if you're Brooklyn right now. I don't know what you're thinking. Like, it's like, cool, Cam Thomas is doing all this good stuff, but like, how for the Nets who don't have their picks in the future, like, how are you thinking right now? Because they're also now 3-3, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or maybe they're 2-4 now. What are they? Yeah, they're also 3-3. So if you're the Nets right now, it's like because they traded back for their pick this year, so I don't know how you're kind of feeling at the moment, because you kind of need to make sure that you lose for you getting the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. The Bulls using pace and space against the teams like the Nets to have a better ability to run that speed and get transition out offense in return. Well, the funny thing is, though, is that we talked about this last game. Like, Brooklyn came into this game, they were like 20-something in pace. So the fact that they were playing as up to the Bulls' pace was just like, it was a little bit shocking, because it's like, that was not supposed to happen tonight, right? But props to the Nets, right? I mean, I was kind of shocked to see that number in the first place, because I've always known the Nets to just be fast, like be a fast team out there. So props to them. Like, they matched the Bulls' pace. They didn't get tired, and they kind of won, I guess, the energy advantage at the end of the game, which the Bulls have been kind of winning at some of their games. Yeah, props to the Nets for sticking with the Bulls' pace all game. I think if you're talking about the Bulls specifically, Charles, I don't really think that there's anything else that they can really do on the in terms of half-court offense. I think it honestly just comes down if the guys just hit their shots. I'm not complaining, and honestly, I think when I'm looking at the half-court offensive numbers in terms of, shots taken, kind of where the shot clock is. Like the Bulls are taking a lot of shots in like the first half of the shot clock now. So I don't really have too much to complain about with this team. I think it's also just important to remember that I think this team is still kind of limited in with like they don't have like a go-to guy. Your best shot creator is Zach, and we know that he can also be turnover prone. And because they don't have size, they're pretty limited in terms of their ability to finish in the paint. So it's kind of just going to come down to the 3-ball with them this year. And so I think the half-court offense is kind of doing its thing. That's correct. But I don't really know what else we can really change. Because I don't think we're going to at any point be like, yeah, we're going to get more points in the paint. Just as Stacey King likes to say, like, you know, go inside consistently, because that's how he played back in the day. So I mean, you just see the points in the paint difference tonight. It's just right there, 40-66. Whew. Yeah, holy moly, yeah. And that's if a James Harden without any passing ability. I think honestly, so if we're talking about like, you know, like all-star James Harden, then yeah. I think right now though, Cam Thomas is a better scorer than James Harden at the moment. James obviously has just gotten older, but yeah. If Thomas can learn to actually become like a legitimate like good passer, then I think the Nets just look to keep him. He's a really good ball handler to the point where I'm just gonna trust him for everything. The Nets don't always play pace, but even if Simmons is well off his peak, he is still one of the best at advancing the ball in transition. So Nets capitalize on that a heap when it comes for them. They also do play small like the Bulls, right? They have a lot of small lineups or smallish lineups. Claxton also, they're big men. Like with Ben Simmons being the center and Claxton being the center, they're able to run so effectively. They have the personnel for sure. Like I'm not saying like, oh, like this shouldn't be, they shouldn't have the capability of doing this. I guess I was just a little bit shocked just because the numbers were like, no, the Nets are playing kind of slower this year. Which is just that was, I think, the more shocking thing. So I expected that to kind of happen, and I wasn't really sure why, but you know, maybe Schroeder was slowing them down a bit. But yeah, they have the personnel for sure, and they've done it the past couple seasons where they've been playing pretty fast. Yeah, I not surprised that they were able to figure out ways to just get to the Bulls' pace. I think it was just like I was waiting for them to slow the game down because it looked like that's just the way they've been playing. And they just didn't slow down. They were like, yeah, we're gonna continue to play fast. So props to them. All right, couple of things also I do want to talk about for this game. So if you're just checking in, I do want to point out one more time, this is the reason why Vooch shot so efficiently. I mean, he's 10 for 11 from the field. You shoot your threes. So if you're shooting jump shots, I want you to shoot the 3-ball. If you're in the paint, I want you at the rim. And the Bulls found them multiple times inside. They probably should have found them a little bit more, but I do think that in the fourth quarter, Vooch didn't really try to get into the paint for whatever reason. So I think this is just a good showing of like, hey, this is how I want Vooch to play moving forward. If you just want to be more efficient as a player, then this is it. Shoot shots at the rim. If you're gonna take jump shots, shoot the 3-ball. It's gonna help you out a lot. So yeah, that's that. At the end of the day. Also, if you're just checking in, this is going to be a shorter stream tonight. There was even a chance that there was going to be no stream tonight, but I am able to fit in like a shorter stream, so I do apologize for not. Like, we've been streaming till like midnight ish, so I'm not able to do that tonight, but I'm still at least giving you guys an hour. So we're gonna head into film a little bit quicker tonight. I do want to show you a couple plays here at the end of the day. The fast break points for the Nets, you have up to is what I would look for how to handle pace against them. I mean, sure. I mean, we can go into like fast break points at the end of the day, but for the Nets, like I just want to say this one more time. The Nets came in like 20 something in pace, so I want to go off of that stat more so, just because of that's been more consistent with how we've been watching teams play with pace. But yeah, the Nets got more fast break points tonight. Now I will say though, the Bulls defense, transition defense was god awful tonight. I mean, it was pretty atrocious tonight. So this is updated, by the way. So and that's got themselves up to 18th in terms of pace now. Yeah, the Bulls transition defense tonight was atrocious. Like, I'm sorry. the transition defense, you saw guys missing guys. Like Patrick Williams even had a moment where he was supposed to be guarding Ben Simmons, and then he just left Ben Simmons in the transition for whatever reason. I don't know why. But he was the big guy back and decided just to like, yeah, Olay, I don't care, I guess. But yeah, that's, I think, a pretty good showing of like the Bulls transition defense was just not existent tonight. They're a team that doesn't really offensive rebound anyway, so it's like, why is the defense so bad in transition? You shouldn't have this issue. But here we are. Horrible transition defense at the end of the day. Let's see here. Fast break points. See, like, this is where it gets a little bit iffy in terms of pace. Like, fast break points is like, it's not always the best thing in the world because you can be you can have the best pace in the league. But the Bulls are like kind of mid in terms of fast break points. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets only came in averaging 12 anyway. So yeah, it's honestly just, pace is a big combination of shot, how fast you get shots up in each possession. And then obviously really trying to push the ball down the floor. I still don't really know how exactly pace is fully measured, but they do a good job at the end of the day to really figure it out. So yeah, it's a little rough to like fully like try to understand pace, but right now the Bulls are still leading the league in pace at the moment. So I want this to continue moving forward. I asked how you feel about Vooch this season. I'm very happy that he's playing, man. I'm very happy that he's found his 3-point shot, I guess. We'll see, 25 games. But yeah, he's playing really well. The biggest thing for me is that he's bought into the system, which is not exactly like for him, right? This is not like a system built for him. This is a very fast system. He's running up and down the court constantly. He's not very fast, right? And he seems to be really willing to shoot the 3-ball when he's open, and he understands that it's in good rhythm within the offense. Less post-ups also this year. It seems like it's just a really good thing overall. So I'm happy it's just he's bought in. I really do appreciate that he's bought in. And we'll just see if this continues, because if this can continue, then I'm praying to God that someone like the Phoenix Suns are going to take him somehow, or maybe the Pelicans would. But either way, though, it's just good to just see him just play better. He still has his flaws, hence I think just seeing the Bulls give up 66 points in the paint tonight, I think kind of shows his flaws. It's not fully on him. Again, the 66 points in the paint is not fully on him, but he is still very much flawed as in terms of defensive capabilities. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. I'm really hoping that a team is going to be willing to kind of just take a risk on him or something. But it doesn't exactly look like that will happen. But I'm just happy he's playing better. I think it's just a good thing for the bunch of the younger, especially for Giddey, man. Like, if Giddey really wants to look good, if Vooch looks good, then it helps Giddey look a lot better too. So I'm happy he's playing good. So honestly, if the goal is to get Vooch and Levine off the roster, I think they're both doing their job. They're both showing that offensively that they're draining threes at a really good pace. So if a team's looking at them like, hey, at least we're good 3-point shooters, which is, you can't have enough in today's league. So hopefully this continues with them. I'm honestly shocked though at how well he's played. So a major props to him for doing so well. All right, we're gonna get into some of the film here. I do want to show a couple of things. Here we go. So gonna always point this out whenever I do see this sort of play being run for the Bulls. So a play that I've been talking about a lot has been the sort of horns action where you put Giddey in like the pinch post area or the elbow area, and he's kind of the decision maker on where the ball goes. So sorry for the black screen, but here's the possession. So usually you see Patrick Williams bring the ball up the court for this sort of play, but because Terry's on the floor, I guess we decided to let him bring the ball up. So a little bit of a switch up. I've been always kind of saying just look out for Pat, but this is a little bit of a switch up here for for this specific possession. So here's the horn set. So you saw Giddy kind of go down here. He's just kind of like just setting a screen for Vooch, and then they both immediately go to the elbows, right? So now Giddy is here in the pinch post / elbow area, and it's just everything is basically just kind of up to his decision making. So Zach has been here. We've been seeing the backdoor cut a lot from Zach, and this is the exact play it's been on. So this is, or I should say, it's one of the plays that it's been on consistently. So you're gonna see that Giddy is gonna look to Zach to see if Zach's gonna get a backdoor first step advantage, and Giddy will thread the needle and give it to him. If that's not there, then you see that these three here between Pilo, Vooch, and Dale and Terry, this is usually Kobe White, they have a lot of action between the three of them. So usually Vooch comes up, sets a little rip screen, and then Terry's gonna go down and can either set a screen for Pat to come up off of, or Terry can just keep going down and cut. If Terry's open, then Giddy can just throw him the pass there. So it's just good action overall. And you see here, Giddy and Zach lock eyes, and Zach just goes back door. And Giddy absolutely threads the needle and gives Zach a hell of a pass for a good layup. So I want to point this out because I think this is a kind of a staple now in the Bulls playbook. Something that the Thunder kind of used last season a lot with Giddy because he was playing more off ball, but they still want to use his passing. So they would put him in that sort of area and just kind of have him just survey the floor and see what the defense does, and then he makes the quick decisions because of his great passing. So that just, yet again, we're seeing this exact same play being run and get good value out of it. So hopefully this is going to continue to get good value out of it. And I'm interested just to kind of see the different variations that Billy Donovan's going to kind of come up with for the season, because I think that we've seen a lot of the Zach backdoor, and then we've seen the Kobe White comes off the double pin down from Vooch and whoever else is on the floor for a 3-point shot. But then kind of what's then the next variation, right? I think there's a lot of things you can kind of do on the weak side of the floor, where between the three people kind of moving around, where Giddy and Zach are not. I think there's a lot of things you can do. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what exactly Billy has in mind for that sort of stuff. But just pointing this out yet again because this is very clearly a play that they're running a lot. So pay attention to whether if you ever see Patrick Williams bring the ball up the floor, it's probably going to be this play. Hopefully I'm not leaking that to all the teams, because teams will catch on pretty quickly if that is the case. But you could see in this play though that Dale and Terry was the one bringing it up, so it's not always Patrick Williams. So yeah, cool little wrinkle for Billy Donovan to add into the playbook, and you're using everyone's best abilities in this sort of play. So props to Billy for getting that done pretty well in the end. Leading blocks for game 2. What are you talking about, Charles? Who led the block, or who led in blocks today? I guess it was Noah Clowney and Ben Simmons tonight. For the Bulls, though, it was Vooch and Jalen Smith, and I guess Terry got a block. That's cool. The page I had up, just how low the rim protection was. Oh, are you talking about this? Which play? Or is it under traditional? Oh, for both teams. That's what you're saying. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. It was under game charts then. Yeah. Not a lot of blocks. And then yeah, Ben Simmons, yeah, had the most blocks tonight. So yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to find a couple other things here. So let me show you a play here for Pat, because I think this is. These are the shots that Pat needs to find a way to knock down consistently. I don't exactly know what it's gonna take, but like he's got to find a way to just make these shots. All right, so here's a play. So Ben Simmons just scored off this play. Zach pump fakes, and then like this to me is where I'm just like, I look at Pat, I'm like, you got to find a way to like hit these sort of shots. Again, like everyone's human, but this was the first shot for Pat for the game, and it just was like, bro, like I did this kind of takes forever for him to get the shot off in the first place, and maybe he just took his time, but that was short. So I don't know about that from Pat. He's got to find a way to start hitting some of these shots. Really quickly, I do want to look at what is Pat's 3-point percentage for the season. Again, I actually already had it up. Sorry. Okay, so Patrick Williams for the season so far is shooting 31% from three. So yeah, man. I mean, he's shooting more threes than the previous couple seasons so far per game, but this is not good. So yeah, he's got to find a way to start knocking these down, because his other shots aren't exactly falling either at the moment. Now I want to show you this too. So this is where I was talking about with Pat, that I don't know if he exactly and I guess you could maybe say that this wasn't exactly his fault. So sorry to pick on Patrick Williams in this film session, but I don't know if he just kind of was just understanding defensive assignment tonight, but like maybe he thought he was supposed to be guarding Cam Thomas, but then realized, oh, this is Ben Simmons. But like you understand, I would hope to assume that he knew like, oh, I got to pick up Simmons in this sort of situation. But maybe honestly, you know what, I'll give Pat the benefit of the doubt for this one, because Vooch was guarding Simmons a lot when Simmons was playing the quote-unquote center. So maybe this isn't exactly on Pat, but this is still just a bad showing of transition defense by the Bulls, because the Bulls just tonight, they're like, yeah, we're just not gonna pick up guys quickly enough, because as you can see, like, okay, Kobe's got him, like Zach's got him, Giddey's got him, but then I don't know who's got these two right now. I don't know which two of these Bulls players have these two specific players. So figure it out, bro. Like, this is just bad. This is unacceptable, and to see Ben Simmons go on and score the first bucket against you is probably a bad sign in the first place. Like, you can't let Ben Simmons be the guy that scores the first bucket against you in the game. Like, that's just god awful. So yeah, this sort of stuff can happen again. Rebound, and it's not even like a fast break. It's just a sort of like trot up the court after the rebound, and guys aren't getting to their man quickly enough, and then this just happened. So this is kind of the beginning of the game for the Bulls, that it was just tragic defense to start the game. No one was paying attention to who they had to pick up in transition, whether it was a made or missed shot. It was just bad all around, and this sort of stuff just can't happen. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to bring up another Pat play. So I'm not going to say that's on Pat, but I'm going to then show you a play where I think Pat did mess up, where I'm like, what did Pat look at, or what is he seeing? Sorry, I'm trying to find it here. I thought it was second quarter, but maybe I'm misremembering here. I mean, maybe it was first quarter, actually. Let me look. Let's see. That's not it. Hold on, sorry. I'm trying to find it. Maybe it was actually third quarter. I'm gonna go to game charts really quickly and just look at this from Simmons. So okay, so quarter one. What was this one? That's quarter one, and then this one is quarter three. Okay, and then this one was. Okay. Yeah, it was third quarter then, because this is just another showing. I won't stay on this for too long, because I didn't want to show bad defense from the Bulls this year, because I said that I think they're just going to be horrible defensively this year. I've been kind of adamant about that. So, yeah. All right, Sorry, hold on. Just want to double check this. So that's 920, and then this is 5. Huh. I must have misremembered. I thought Ben Simmons scored the shot, but I guess I'm misremembering because it clearly wasn't one of Simmons' shot that was the reason why they scored off of a fast break for the Nets. I'm trying to think of what it would have been, and it might have been Clowney here because I know Pat was in the game at this point. Nope, that's not it either. Man, I'm just bad, I guess. Hold on. Oh, here we go. This is actually it. Okay. Yeah. So here, this is the play. So it was Claxton who scored it. I do apologize. This right here is, to me, I don't know what Pat's doing. So let's just watch this shot. So it's a miss. So P1 misses the 3, as we all knew from the game. Now, the Bulls right now, like I think Ion needs to be running back a little bit harder. But right now, okay, you see Kobe's like yelling out. I know it's a little hard to see because it's blurry, but like Kobe's yelling out like, "Hey, like everyone line up and try to get to their spots here." So right now, if you're looking at this, excuse me. So right now, if you're looking at this, it's like the Nets. It's kind of even, right? Because you got Kobe at least between like one guy here, one guy here. The ball is here, so this is kind of even, right? So it's not like the Nets have like major number advantage. That's what I'm trying to say. But as it kind of like starts to get figured out here, I don't know what Pat's doing. Like, why did you leave this guy when, you know, Kobe's like, "Hey, everyone line up. Like, I got this guy. I got this." Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I'm actually wondering, did Pat think that the official was one of the Nets players? Like, that's like the only thing I'm like kind of thinking about. But this sort of play, I was just like, what the hell is Pat doing? Like, look, now it's like, oh, hey, yeah, this guy. Remember the guy that you initially picked up when the fast break first started? Yeah, that guy. Like, you can't forget about that. You can't forget about that guy who is a 6'11" athletic center named Nick Claxton, who just went up and just got the alley-oop. Like, I don't understand what happened here. But this is just, again, it's just another showing of just a bad transition defense by the Bulls. This is very, like, I'm not saying the Bulls need to get like a stop here. Like, yeah, I think a lot of teams can still score on this sort of possession, but at the very least, you should not be giving up an alley-oop for the fast break layup. Like, this should not be what should be given up here. Not at all. Like, this should not be given up at all. If like Schroeder takes this all the way to the bucket, I can understand that. And if, you know, I don't exactly know who this is, but whoever that is, like, takes a 3-point shot, like, sure. But the fact that Nick Claxton, who was the only guy that was up here on this side of the floor with Pat, got the alley-oop out of this somehow, I'm just lost. I'm like, how the hell did this happen? And this was so frustrating. I watched that. I'm like, what is Pat doing? I don't know what he's looking at. And I honestly think that he thought the official was one of the Nets players because the official's kind of wearing Nets, you know, colors, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know what this was. This made me upset, though, because at this moment, the Bulls have already given up so many, like, transition opportunities, which may not be fast break points at the end of the day, but they're still transition shots. And then just to see that is just telling me, like, oh, they're not locked in, at least. Like, in terms of the transition defense, it just seems like at least there's one guy and every sort of transition defensive attempt is lost. Because then I can even point to when Josh Giddey, kind of in the fourth quarter where he got lost on a shot. Like, I don't, and this is just again like a spot where I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I believe it was for Cam Thomas's running dunk here, or maybe it was a little bit earlier, but like, it's this sort of stuff though that you're just looking at, you're like, what? You know, it's not the Cam Thomas dunk, but hold on, sorry. Or sorry, it's not the Kim Johnson dunk, I should say. Sorry, I gotta say I can't find this one either. But yeah, like this was just bad tonight by the Bulls in terms of transition defense. I don't know what happened tonight. There are things that I know will happen with the Bulls where well, because they're playing faster, because they're trying to pick up the pace, that there's gonna things happen, right? But when stuff like this sort of stuff happens where you're not like running you're not running for the offensive, like you're not trying to get offensive rebounds, so like you really shouldn't, you have no excuse honestly for giving up any sort of bucket. Actually I just found it. Like giving up any sort of transition opportunities to teams, like there really is no excuse at the end of the day. But like even here it just seems like guys they're not communicating. So right now I don't know who's guarding who. So these guys need to start communicating, because right now I see 4 guys are guarding 3 guys. So if you're wondering, I see Io's guarding this guy, I see Phillips is guarding this guy, I see Zach's guarding this guy, and so there's a guy running here that is just open, and so I don't know who Giddey's guarding. Like right now I don't know who Giddey's guarding, and we see this sort of oh crap moment from Giddey and tries to recover, and Simmons is like, oh, wide open guy, easy layup. Like this sort of stuff happened all night, and we even saw in the fourth quarter it was still happening. This is unacceptable. So again, I understand it's gonna be like faster pace is gonna lead to like some things happening, like more turnovers are gonna happen. I get it. We're gonna see a lot of threes be taken, and you know, for this team specifically, you're not gonna see a lot of paint points, even though we're playing faster. But this sort of stuff here, the terrible transition defense, this cannot happen. This straight up just cannot happen, even though you're playing faster. This was just a lot of miscommunication and guys not knowing where they're supposed to be. I don't need you to go and try to pick up your man in transition that you're supposed to be guarding. I just need you to pick up the closest guy to you. So pick up the guy that you're supposed to pick up in transition. Don't know what this was here. Again, I'm lost when it comes to this sort of stuff. When I see this sort of stuff happening, like I get this sort of stuff, just like it irks me pretty badly to see this pretty badly, because like I'm not saying that the Bulls have been like a good transition defensive team over the years, but like you don't see this many miscues ever like in one game. Well, with what we saw tonight, it's been pretty awful overall. If $5 of Ben scoring first, he seems to play the first 5 minutes each game and shoot in those. Wow, actually, honestly, that is one hell of a bet. Charles, that is one hell of a bet. I cannot believe that cashed. That's insane. Yeah, I would not be betting on Ben Simmons to get the first bucket of the game. Yeah, that's honestly insane. So props to you for winning that one. In the end here. So yeah, I won't show anything else defensively, because we could just talk all game about how bad the Bulls were defensively in this one, but I'm not going to go and get into that too much. Excuse me. Okay. I do want to show one cool sideline out of bounds play that I think deserves some credit. I've been kind of critical of Donovan over the years about some sideline out of bounds plays, so I do want to give Donovan some credit for some of the plays that he had, or some of the stuff that he's drawn up overall for the season. But Sorry, I'm trying to get to the exact play here. But over the years, I've been pretty critical with Donovan about like sideline about his play, especially at like late game. I think Donovan has over the years has just trusted DeMar DeRozan too much. Like he'll just run like a simple set just to get DeRozan an ISO that involves no off-ball movement, nothing happening. Even if you have like, let's say like 15 seconds to work with, you would still see Donovan's like, yeah, I'm still just gonna just run a DeRozan ISO, and yeah, we're just gonna live with it. And you would have like 15 seconds of DeRozan dribbling, and then DeRozan just takes the shot, and it's a make or miss. You know, it just depends on that. That sort of stuff just bothered the crap out of me, because I think what Donovan was expecting in those sort of situations was for the teams to either double DeRozan, or DeRozan really should just get a one-on-one matchup. And if it wasn't an out-of-bounds play that created some sort of mismatch for DeRozan to take advantage of, I didn't understand it. We saw too many times, in my opinion, where there was like just a strip ISO play for DeRozan. He's just facing off against the team's best defender, and he would just let him go. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not a person that needs like all this off-ball movement and like all this like very complex ways of doing things, but I do think though that you need something. Like if it's whether you get the mismatch, you get the switch, or you just put your two best players in the same action and just let those two only players run the play, like that's fine. Like when DeRozan hit that game winner in New York, for example, it was a screen and roll between DeRozan and Levine, and that, you know, that was it. Like that, there was nothing else happening in that play. I'm fine with that. Like, I think that's fine. I just need at least something like that from Donovan, and he just wasn't giving that consistently. So I do want to give him props for this sort of play here. So I'm going to pause it when the play comes out. I think it's actually a pretty good play, because a lot of the times right now what you're seeing with the Bulls is like if you would look at this play like right from the very beginning, you're thinking, okay, Pat's probably going to get like a screen from Vooch to come like backdoor. And then if that doesn't work, then you're probably going to see both of them like kind of come here and set like a little pin down for Zach to come off of to try to get a shot. But I think this is a pretty good play by Donovan, where he instead he made Zach be the screener to threat as if Vooch is going to get like a lob attempt here. And then after Zach set the screen, he like popped out for a mid-range shot. Maybe this was like a bit too early from the timing from what I saw, but either way though, I think this is good action. Like, I think this is really good. So you see here's the screen by Zach. It's like a back screen, and so Vooch is like, oh, I'm going for the lob, and so the defense heavily collapses onto him, as you're gonna watch right here. They both collapse onto him, and so Zach gets an open shot. He just straight up misses it. So Zach needs to knock that shot down, but I think this is good. So I just want to give props to Donovan, because I'm like, I try to be fair on this channel. Like I'm not just be like, oh, Donovan has been just bad on sideline out of bounds plays at the end of games, and he's just always gonna be bad. Like I do give him his props when I think it's due. So this is one of the times where I do think it is due. I think it's a good overall play. I'm sure that if Zach wasn't open, then there's like another thing after it too. But either way though, it forces a switch, right? So I think that in general, it's just a pretty solid play just to kind of have in your back pocket. And I want to give Donovan the props. So again, I'm fair on this channel. I'm not just be like, I've been heavily critical of Donovan, and I'm aware. But I do try to be fair at the end of the day. So this is one thing that I've been really criticizing him a lot about, but I'm going to give him his props right here at the end of the day. All right, y'all. I did say though this was going to be a shorter stream, so I do first of all, I just want to say thank you for all coming into the stream. I did tell a lot of you that it was going to be a potential 50-50 if I was going to stream tonight, so it was just kind of up in the air. But I was able to stream, so I was able to give you kind of like an hour here. I can go ahead and like kind of give you like an extra 10 minutes if we want to talk about anything else before I do hit the end stream button here. I do appreciate you all coming in, so if you have not already, if you hit the like button on the stream, helps me out a lot. Whether you're watching the VOD or watching it live, if you hit the like button, it helps me out a ton, so I do appreciate it. Even in just this little time here, we've had over 50 viewers throughout the stream, so I do appreciate everyone just kind of checking in after a Bulls loss here. Some things I want to talk about though, just really quickly, just before we end stream. This team are frauds. Like this team right here, yikes. Like unless some sort of switch is gonna go off for them, this team is on major yikes right now. Holy hell, do the Bucks look bad. if you're not aware of who was sitting in this game for the Grizzlies had a ton of guys sitting in this game. Just right off the bat, you can just kind of see it. Hey, no Desmond Bane. It just like there was just no John Conchar. Like this was a horrific game for the Bucks. I don't know what the hell is happening with them over there, but Giannis was like the only positive guy, I guess. He's still getting his numbers, but Lillard, oh my god, this is tragic from Lillard. So I don't know what the hell is gonna happen between the Bucks and their whole chemistry and coaching staff. Yeah, Doc Rivers is just kind of proving everyone right, unfortunately, right now. Rivers has not had a good time there at the end of the day. So yeah, that's been interesting just to kind of keep track of. The only undefeated teams right now are currently the Cleveland Cavaliers and Oklahoma City Thunder. Cavs won tonight against the Magic, who lost Banchero, which is a humongous loss. So Jesus, man, that's gonna suck for the Magic. He's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks due to a right oblique tear. That really sucks for him, which maybe kind of explains why he was shooting so poorly against the Bulls in the second half. So I don't exactly know when it happened with him, but that's interesting to see. But the Cavs remained undefeated, so they're now 6-0 after their win against the Magic tonight. So that's just something to keep track of moving forward, just to see who's going to remain the last undefeated team. The Thunder should win tonight, so unless I'm going to put my curse on them with what I've been saying about the Bulls, the Thunder should just win this game because it's the Trailblazers and the Thunder. So I'll be interested to see what's going to happen there. For the Bulls, though, we're going to see each other, I believe, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I won't see you guys for the rest of the weekend here. So please, as you know, I guess recover from Halloween weekend if you haven't already. I hope everyone has recovered though. And I will be seeing you guys on Monday as the Bulls fly back to Chicago to take on the Utah Jazz, who are currently winless. So here's another game that I think the Bulls should go out and win pretty convincingly. But it just because of how this season has gone, every single time I've said I think the Bulls should win, they lose, and every single time I think the Bulls should lose, they've won so far. The only time that I've been right was the Oklahoma City Thunder game, which is what I said that's a scheduled L. Second game of back-to-back. There's no way the Bulls win that one, and it's against Oklahoma City. So this is another game I'm going to go ahead and say that the Bulls should absolutely win this game. I don't know why the Bulls would lose this one, but they should just go out and win this. But because I said that, they're going to find a way to lose it. Just as they did in tonight's game. As I said that they should win against the Brooklyn Nets, but they'll somehow find a way to lose it. So this is classic Bulls. They win the games that they shouldn't win, and they're going to lose the games that they shouldn't lose. That's typical Bulls at the end of the day. So I'll be interested to see what's going to happen here. I think the Bulls should just really take this one. The Utah Jazz have not looked good in their first 5 games. Markkanen is currently dealing with some sort of injury. I don't exactly remember what. They're not exactly healthy. It just looks bad in Utah. So Bulls should just win this one straight up. So I'll be interested to see what's going to happen there. To be honest, does end up asking for a trade or trade options for Zach, which are already super thin. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really even think the Bucks are even thinking about like the whole Chris Middleton for Levine swap. I'm thinking about it, right? Like I'm like, hey, you want Zach for Middleton, and throw in something else. I don't care what it is. Like, I'd be down for it, but I think that the Bucks are gonna actually try to they're gonna pray to God that Middleton is gonna come back and he'll be their saving grace, which is just ridiculous to think about. Like, you shouldn't be relying on a guy who's been injured, who hasn't been an all-star in the past couple of seasons, who might be washed at the end of the day, to come back and save your season when this team is supposed to be like even good without him. So yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to watch, because God Almighty, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks front office right now, like when do I pull the trigger on firing Doc? Like if I'm personally the Milwaukee Bucks front office, like I'm firing Doc. Like if they can't get it together in the next so they're 1-4 right now or whatever. Like if they can't get it together next 10 games, and like if let's say in their first 15 games they're 5-15 or 5-10, I'm firing Doc. Like, I need to do something just to get this team to like get it together because, you know, maybe I'll say 20 because it is the Eastern Conference in the end of the day, so like it's less competition. If I was in the West though, I'm not playing around. Like if I was in the West and I'm like heavily trying to make the playoffs and like we lose some of these games like the way that we're losing, I'm going 15 because we do not have time to mess around here. But because it's the East, I'll give it like 20. But if they're like, God, bro, if they're like 6-14 after 20 games, like I'm firing Doc then. Like that's insane to even think about. I understand that team has flaws, but they should not be losing the games like in this sort of fashion right now. What we're seeing is unacceptable because Giannis is still being Giannis. Like if Giannis suddenly like fell off a cliff or something, I'd understand it, but Giannis is still Giannis. So even with like a 70% of Damian Lillard, what we're used to, you should still be winning games. And even with Chris Middleton not around, not to say it likely, but don't curse Thunder. It's just good organization. I wish them well. Yeah, honestly, I don't like. Let's just test the curse. The Thunder are undefeated right now. They should win in Portland tonight. So they should absolutely. The Thunder should be winning in Portland tonight. Let me just test to see if the curse is real. Because my God, if I really cursed this Bulls team. But Giannis getting out to GSW. If Giannis somehow finds a way to trade himself to Golden State, bro, can you imagine that? I already think that like Curry is like when he was healthy, like I think the Warriors are gonna be like a decent team this year. If somehow, some way they figure out a way to get Giannis to Golden State, and I don't know how it would work with Draymond. That'd be my only question because Draymond's not a shooter also, so the spacing would be weird. But oh my God, bro, that would be insane just to think about. It's not like he's ever traded a speculation. You see, yeah, I don't think Giannis will get traded this season. Like even if this is like a tragic season, by the way, I don't think Giannis will get traded. Like let's say some of the Bucks are in the play-in, like I don't think Giannis gets traded. I think that they'll just kind of have to like kind of look things over, and try to see what they can do with the new CBA because I know the new CBA kind of screwed them over a bit with what like the sorts of resources that they're used to. But yeah, like I think that they just be like, okay, well, this season sucked. After the season, though, we'll try to figure things out. Like, Brook Lopez is coming off the books. Like, Bobby Portis is player option. So, like, you kind of have some wiggle room in a sense. I'm aware that these two are both making over, like, 100 million combined. So, you'd have to figure this sort of crap out here. But with the salary cap projected to go up, I mean, yeah, like I can kind of see a way where they can kind of figure out ways to get some money, you know, before they hit the first apron threshold. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do. I don't know how many picks they have. Let's just really quickly look at that. Hold on. I always have to. I just make sure I bring it over here because I click on the wrong website a lot when it comes to this sort of stuff. Here we go. Yeah. Nope, this isn't it. Oh, no, this isn't it. Okay. Let's see. Because we know that they traded a lot of picks in the Drew Holiday trade. Okay. Yeah, so they don't have their pick this year. Oh God, I forgot that they have the swap with New Orleans. Oh my God, bro. I don't know, man. The Bucks might be screwed. Like, they might actually have to start considering, like, seeing if a Lillard trade, if Lillard just can't, like, figure it out, like, I don't know, bro. Like, they'll have to find a way. Maybe they actually trade Chris Middleton or something. Like, they need to recruit some assets. So if, like, this season goes, like, the tragedy, like, I'm probably trading Portis if I can. I'm trading Pat Connaughton. Like, I'm just trying to, like, just salvage any sort of scraps just to try to give me some trade value and some assets, and then I'm like figuring out ways just to figure things out. So yeah, but man, oh man, it doesn't get any easier, huh? Like they actually invested their entire future into that Lillard trade, and before that it was the Drew Holiday trade. Yikes, bro. Curse the OKC. Trailblazers Cubs. OKC 60. Wow. Okay. Maybe the curse is real. I'll keep that in mind. Is that a 7-point run? Jesus. Maybe I need to just like, maybe I need to just tell you guys like, hey, this team is absolutely should be winning tonight, and you should just go bet on the other team. Maybe that's what we got to do. Maybe that's what I got to do to help you guys get some money. It's just, I absolutely just say that a team should be winning this game, and then you guys go bet on the other team really quickly. Go throw $5 or something just on the other team, because so far it's worked. Maybe it's just an early season thing. Who knows? Let's see how far I can take this. But that's very funny, honestly. I cannot believe that that's real. And the Pacers lost again, bro. They beat the Celtics, but I don't even that win for the Pacers. I don't even think it was good. They let the Celtics come back with like it was a 15-point lead. They let the Celtics come back in like 3 minutes. Tell me how bad Giddy is again. He'll get better again, please too. I don't know if it works on players specifically, because I think I've unfortunately been calling out Pat a lot. I didn't actually call out Vooch. So I guess that is like where it worked out well, but I've been also praising the hell out of Levine and Kobe, so I don't exactly know how that worked. Because that didn't work in their favor. So I don't know if I should say anything about about any sort of player yet. Yeah. All right. So yeah, really quickly one more time. So the Bulls gonna be facing the Utah Jazz on Monday. So game is at 7:30 Central Time, so it's a little bit later. So that means at 10 I will be streaming post game. So be ready for that. 10 p.m. Central Time post game is when I'll be doing this sort of doing this post game stream. So yeah, we'll see if Markkanen plays. I don't know if he will though. I think Markkanen has kind of just been dealing with a lot early in the year. And once again, just to curse it, I think the Bulls should win this game. They should absolutely be winning this game. They should not be giving Utah their first win of the season. They should be winning this game. So they should just go out and just win this game. So if the curse is real, you know what's going to happen. Yeah. Maybe that's why Kobe has been on and off. I have to watch the game. He did bad in your comments versus good ones. Maybe, bro. Maybe. I don't know, bro. If the curse is that good, man, then I need to tell my family to like, hey, I'm gonna say something, and you better go bet on this. Go bet on the under for a player or something. All right, y'all. I do have to go though. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me with this little short stream. I appreciate you understanding it's a short stream. So hopefully, with this Bulls L, which they shouldn't have gotten, but yeah, I must be the curse. I do appreciate y'all still being here. So we had 60 viewers got the stream on a Bulls L. So I do appreciate that. Go watch that. Go watch this game, the Nuggets versus Timberwolves. It's on ESPN right now. So go watch this game really quickly. But unfortunately, I do have. It's gonna be a busy weekend for me. So I do have to go though. And let's just say planned at the moment. So appreciate y'all being here. Again, one more time, if you have not already hit the like button on the stream, it helps me out a ton. I truly do appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace out, y'all.